Live from beautiful downtown Bastrop, it's time for the Stage Select, starring Julian Titus and Justin Ham.
What could this possibly be? Seems a lot like a podcast. Wonder what specifically. Talking about video games. With your hosts, you're in good hands. Not more of the same. Now we'll jump right in. So expect the unexpected and more. Now we'll get grooving. There ain't always gonna walk through the door. There just might be some strategy in this. Just having fun with a special guest. Time for Stage Select.
And here are your hosts, Julian Titus and Justin Ham.
Welcome, one and all, to the Stage Select. I'm Julian Titus,
Hi, I'm Justin Ham.
and this is a video game variety show, and
Is
we're
it?
back. It is.
Okay.
So it is still,
All right.
it is still a video game variety show. That has
That's
not
good.
changed,
Okay.
but we reserve the right at any time to do so.
Do we?
Yeah, man, it's our show. We can do whatever the fuck we want.
All
See, I
right.
just cussed in like the first few seconds of the show.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You're very edgy today. That's
Hell
good.
yeah, yeah. I was playing Final Fantasy 14 earlier, and I was playing as a Dark Knight, so I'm in edge mode.
Well, you'll have that. Yeah.
You will
You'll
have that.
Yeah.
One real quick thing to talk about before we jump into the episode.
Okay.
Justin and I we did something new that we've never done before.
Oh yeah.
We were on a YouTube video game Let's Play show called Retrofits
We were.
with James, Chin, and JJ. And that, like, I'll put a link in the show notes to like the actual episode. We just got invited. Like, it's a thing where I guess James had heard me on A Gamer Looks at 40 and then started following me on Twitter, and we kind of like were talking back and forth, and he actually asked for us by name. He actually DM'd me and said, "Hey, do you and Justin want to come and do this thing?" And I was like, "That actually sounds pretty fun. Let me see if Justin's down." And you were down.
Yeah.
And so you and I have not talked about this since we did it, Justin.
Yeah.
I felt like we clicked instantaneously with those dudes.
Yeah, we did. It was fun.
There was
This is
like
very
not
nice.
even like a couple minutes of like awkward getting to know you time. It was like get on the mics and we just started like riffing.
It was like we'd done it forever.
Yeah,
nice.
it was cool, man.
Yeah.
Those guys are really fun. Their
Yes.
sense of
They're
humor
great.
wise, we really click right together. They know their stuff also. We're gonna have them on the show like sooner rather than later. Like,
Yep.
they are going to be part of like the Stage Select little network of friends and stuff, because I had a blast
I
messing
did
with
too.
them.
It
Yeah.
was fun.
Now they do it Game Grump style, where they record like a big session of gaming and then split it into episodes.
Right.
Unfortunately, I fucked up and didn't realize that like my Audacity went completely like about 20 minutes into the show. So instead of it being like, 4 or 5 small episodes, he had to like edit it into like one out, like an hour long big episode. But he did some fun edits with it too. And
Yeah.
it was fun to go back and watch it again after the fact. So again, it'll be in the show notes. Go check those guys out and expect to have, hear them on this show in the near future.
Go watch me play Mario Party poorly, which is the only correct way to play it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your method of play actually ended up being the show title, which is Chaos Daisy is Best Daisy.
Yeah, that's true. Don't even try. That's my advice for Mario
Yeah.
Party. Don't even try. Just barely try. Just give up instantly.
Or do what I do and not realize that going up at this certain juncture is just going to put you in a circle for like 4 times in a row. Because like somehow you can't grasp this simple concept.
No, well, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. A lot of fun. Thanks
It
again
was
to
fun.
James and JJ.
It was a great time. So.
Yeah. When we have them on, that episode is going to be called Too Many J's. Because
Yeah, there is a lot of J's.
Yeah.
There's a lot of J's.
All right, but that's it for preambly, like as far as like housekeeping or anything like that. Justin,
What?
no, you know what?
What?
I want to go first this week.
All right, that's fine. Do you thing?
Because I have only played one thing.
Okay.
Now, and it's funny, now that we're a weekly show where we talk about games every week and it's not like an alternating thing between games and news.
Yeah.
I'm running into the situation where it's like, you should really play something else to be able to have more to talk about. But then you play something that it's all you want to do and it's all you can think about.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah.
I know how it is. Yeah.
Like, I meant to finish Videoverse this week. It was in my head to finish it. So I forgot because Unicorn Overlord took over my life.
Yeah. I mean, I have like things that I need to do in WWE 2K24, Julian. Like people are like, I mean, not really, but people like message me if I don't do them.
Right. People have been very demanding of your time.
People are demanding. Like they're like, hey, when are you doing this? You should do it again. That would be good. And I'm like, I'm trying, but listen, this game very good. And you have to beat this game first because game very good.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so this is the thing. So, as last week I was talking about how I was having like some wrist issues, right? Mm-hmm. And it had gotten better by the weekend, but it still felt like if I pushed it too hard, like I was gonna like relapse. And I was like, let me start up Unicorn Overlord because that's mostly menus, and I could, if I need to, I can do that with my right hand. Although, I was not prepared for how much exploration is in this game. Yeah, which is
there's actually a pretty good amount. Yeah,
it's a interesting and really cool part of the game that I did not expect at all.
It's not bad, honestly. Yeah. It's like the only part of it that I don't particularly care for is like, I don't know if I'm sure you've done this, but there's like a treasure map thing that you have to do. Like you can dig up a treasure map and then go find the treasure. Yet. Oh, it's if you go mining, it's in the mining stuff. You can dig them up, and then it'll just point you to a spot on the map, and basically you just have to go pixel hunting, and like it's kind of a pain in the ass. Yeah. So I didn't do I think I was like 4 or 5 achievements away from like platinuming it, and almost all of them were that, and I was like, I'm not doing that.
Right. That's usually what'll happen with you on a game that you really love. It's like you're really close, but it's like this is too annoying. Like,
I'm not doing that. I'm just not going to waste my time. But like, that's it really for the annoyance part. Like everything else is like, oh yeah, you just it's the map's not like overwhelming. Like you can run like through from one side to the other pretty quick.
But there's a lot in the overworld. There's a lot of like little villages and settlements. And I love that it's like, a big part of this game. And, this has been done before, right? We talked about Suikoden, right? And like Fire Emblem games and probably even Ogre Battle. I don't remember the story of Ogre Battle.
I don't either.
Big evil empire has taken over like all of the land. You have your little resistance force that you're trying to grow over time. Yeah. And take back territory. But this is the best I've ever seen it realized, where, you fight a battle and then it shows you like, okay, now the empire is gone from this area. Yep. And there's the town people come back, and then you go to all the different little settlements within this area, right? There might be like a castle or like just a village or, just like a structure. But then you like do delivery missions for each of them to like rebuild the cities. And there's more like options available to you as you rebuild and everything. And also it leads to side quests sometimes where like the NPC for a certain quest doesn't pop up until you've built up enough of the town, right? And it makes you feel like you're actually like taking this territory back for the people. And it's really neat. I love it.
It is. It's cool. Yeah, it's really cool. I would say I think my biggest criticism of the game overall, but it doesn't. Here's the thing, it's my biggest criticism, but it also doesn't matter that much, is the story is just kind of never gets very good. Like, it never gets good, in my opinion.
Here, I actually like the story. My problem is that I wish the character stuff was a little bit more out in front.
it just feels like none of the writing in general is really that great to me. Like, honestly, like it's fine. Like, I'm not there for that though. Like in that game, I'm just here to do the strategy missions and build the little units and get new guys and make them do cool stuff. And that's really what I'm here for. And like every new thing, it's like some games you play, like, I'm going to play this mission because I want to see what happens next in the story. I was like, I want to play this mission because I want to get to whatever the next troop type they're going to give me is, because I can't wait to see that shit. Like, dude, that's what I'm into.
It is such a gotta catch 'em all feeling in this game that I also wasn't expecting, where and it becomes kind of comical as you get far enough into the game where you'll see a cutscene with like the commander of the army in this area.
Yes.
At the end, you'll have the opportunity to like execute them or jail them or put them in your party. But you get to a point where it's like, I want one.
Yeah.
So for me, the biggest one recently was Jeremy.
Oh yeah.
After I got him, he speaks in class every day.
Right.
He is amazing, especially the way that I've like kitted him out. But when I first saw him, and like also his voice actor was really good, and I was like, okay, I need you. Like, hopefully, because you know there's definitely rare times where like you actually do kill the general as part of the story, but it's very rare. Most of the time when you see like a new named character, you can get him.
I almost want to like say something about the end of the game. Something happens at the very end, and some of the people that you couldn't get that were like, oh man, it'd be cool to have that guy, you might be able to get them at the end of the game.
Cool.
So yeah, like there is that aspect. I was like, when I learned about that, I was like, oh, that's exciting news. That sounds really cool.
Yeah. You kind of, were pretty overhead on it last week. And I think it's probably because we had Mike there and Mike was pretty exhausted and you didn't want to like, like get too in the weeds. I want to get into the weeds this week though.
Okay, sure.
Because I was a little worried about the whole, like, I didn't know how I was going to feel about you kind of just like program them ahead of time and let them do their thing.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like I wanted to have more control than that. Right. But it turns out that like you actually have possibly more control in this type of like strategy RPG than you do in a Fire Emblem or a Final Fantasy Tactics.
Yeah, you get super into the weeds on this one. And it's really cool how you can.
Because it's not just about, okay, here's my unit formation and here's like the behaviors that I've given them, but it's also about, okay, I have these Valor abilities that I need to use strategically. I have these items to use strategically. And also like, if I attack this unit with this unit, they're going to do damage, but they're also going to take a shit ton of damage. But if I bring in this unit to attack first and then have them follow up, then like both of those units are going to take no damage and do a shit ton of damage on this.
And sometimes you can like watch, like sometimes I tend to skip a lot of battles after a while. Like I'm like, once I have my team set up, I'm like, okay, I know how this works. And then, but sometimes like I'll forget and I'll like switch equipment or something like that. I'm like, why are they dying all of a sudden? They're not doing as good. And then I'll go and watch one and be like, oh, right. I gotta switch this. I kept having that problem with the Wyvern girl because she has a spear that does like an attack and it was like a charge attack and I would never have enough. And I was like, my whole thing was to rely on that to like protect her and let her do that because it would usually wipe everybody out at the end. And then I was watching and I'm like, oh, she doesn't have enough AP to do it. So because I accidentally took the thing off. I wasn't thinking about it. Yep. Yeah, right. Okay. I got to put that back on and do this and all this stuff. And yeah, there's a lot of interesting and cool combinations of things that you can do. And
so many cool combinations, dude. And I was not prepared, because I watched like reviews and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, it's the Gambit system from Final Fantasy 12. I know what to expect here. But I didn't realize how much gear would actually factor into things. Right? There's just so much fun that you can have.
Yep.
And like one of my favorite things to do in Unicorn Overlord is make up for a character's lack, right?
Yeah.
So like Auburn or Aubun, the house car, the first house Carl you get.
Oh yeah. I know who you're talking about.
He's a damage dealer, but he is a glass cannon. right? Like,
Yes.
he'll do big damage and he attacks multiple times. So he's actually really good against like the 2 tank classes, which are the hoplites, which are like big armor dudes.
Yeah.
And the thieves, which are evasion tanks, because basically you put them in the front row and you can't hit them.
Can't touch him.
But he can. Problem is that he will go down in, the first round most of the time.
Yes.
But I paired him up with a really awesome cleric that basically keeps him up for the entire battle, and he ends the fight usually at full health, if not like just a couple hit points down.
Yep.
Right. And so he went from being a freaking liability to like one of the best units that I have.
Yeah, clerics come in handy, man. Like, they're pretty good.
And it's cool because like most of the clerics that I've had so far, with the exception of Scarlet, who's like a big story unit, like they don't have offensive moves. But and so you might think like, oh man, I don't want to like waste a slot on just a healer.
Oh no,
it's like,
you want to waste a slot on just a healer most of the time.
Same thing with a shaman, which is all they do is debuffs. They don't attack on their own, but they will make it to where you do not take damage.
They can also do some. I actually beat a couple bosses with just them because like I couldn't do damage on my own, but I had something that like burned people, like one of their staffs that would cast burn on them, and that's how I would just stack damage up on them.
Oh, nice.
And just like I would win that way. But like it's crazy. The game's good.
I'm just having so much fun coming up with stuff. Like, so there was a couple things that I want to talk about, like story-wise, as far as like specific instances.
Okay. I'm down.
This is also really interesting too, right? So when you start the game, you have your tutorial, blah, blah, blah. And then you have like your first quest and it's go rescue this person. But like that first mission objective is like so many hours in the future.
Oh yeah. It sure is.
You got, and it's really cool. You kind of talked about this last week about like that it kind of lets you go wherever. But it's also really cool about like, we can press forward here, but we're going to lose a bunch of people if we don't have this type of class.
Right.
Turns out you can find that type of class if you go south.
If you go the other way. It's like, it kind of is really good about being like, hey, maybe come back to this. Like, but
it's almost like a Metroid
go
map.
for it. And it's like, oh, okay. Yeah. All right. I'll come back. And then you go like a little bit to your right or something. You find some little pathway that you may have missed otherwise. And you're like, oh, hey, here's the thing that I was looking for and all that and stuff like that. It's really good about doing stuff like that.
Absolutely. But, so eventually you do get all the way over there and you start the mission. And, it's definitely a bit of a step up from what you've done so far, but nothing you can't handle, right?
Yep.
Like, and I was like, okay, yeah, I got this. And then that part of the mission ends and a new objective in the mission starts.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, I didn't think I was going to be doing this right now. Okay.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
And so, I have my first, I have the groups that were already like close to this part of the map, engage. And it's like, oh, this is one of those fights where you're supposed to lose because like you cannot scratch this dude. Right. Yeah. But no, you are supposed to win.
You are supposed to win.
And the fucking cool thing is that, you do.
Yeah.
You might have to tweak some stuff, but if you've gotten to this point in the story, you probably already have your units adjusted in such a way where you do have people that can get through those vast defenses and start putting in damage.
I think that might have been the fight where the shaman with something that burned him actually was the thing that was doing damage to him. And
interesting.
I think I had to burn some items and like keep rezzing her.
Right.
And I just kept sending her back in. I was like, nope, you guys are going in there. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. I've been making liberal use of the Valor abilities, especially Arrow Rain if you have an archer.
Yeah.
Because Arrow Rain will, unless they're like complete, like immune to arrows, which are, there are some units that are. But usually it will do significant damage, if not outright pick off like some of the like auxiliary units and leave just like the biggest ones.
Yeah.
Before you actually engage. And so I had been I think I did some of that. And then also like, dude, and I'm going to talk about this in another story. one of my units, it's led by Hodrick, who's the first hoplite that you get.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, oh man, this guy's so slow and like he doesn't do any damage. And it's like, okay, yeah, he's a really good wall. But like this, like I don't like this dude. But then I paired him up with let's see. I'm trying to remember. Well, right now, at this point he had it was him, a mage, and I want to say a cleric. He might have had no, I didn't have a cleric yet because this is before you get clerics. I forget what the third unit was, or it might have just been the 2 units, actually. This might still be that early in the game where you only have 2 units on average, like in a formation.
Okay.
But that was like enough to like, because he could keep the mage up, and then this mage had like, he could basically attack twice in each round. And so he was putting in a lot of the damage. But also not taking any damage because like nothing's getting past Hodrick. It's awesome. Like
that is true. Yeah, it's funny. A lot of the characters that you mentioned so far as your all-stars are characters that I barely used.
And that's what's so cool, right?
That's what's cool. Yeah, it's I every time I hear you say that, I'm like, man, I barely use that guy, but I always was like, but what if I started using that guy? I could put him in here. Like the combinations of stuff that like you can do in that game are just kind of wild. Like even at the end of the game, there were still characters where I was like, I can't quite figure out what this guy is good at. Like that. One of the main characters, not your character, but his best friend or whatever. I forget his name already.
Oh, Lex is a piece of shit, dude.
I could never figure out what to do with him.
I'm trying to make something of him, and his unit is consistently the worst one in my army.
Yeah. I had that problem for a while too, and then all of a sudden, like at the end of the game, like I figured out the combination with him. Like eventually, like I know I don't think you've unlocked this yet, but eventually you can promote units. Have you gotten that? And the thing he promotes to is actually pretty good because it almost kind of does hoplite stuff, like where he'll jump over and start defending people and stuff like that.
Yeah, because he's already kind of like hoplite light. Like in his first incarnation.
Yeah, he's kind of it's weird. He was one I was like, I can't figure out what I'm supposed to do with this guy.
Right.
Here's one of my stories from the game. So I missed one of the thieves. Like there's 2, I believe, that you can get. There's the one that you just get automatically, Travis, whatever. Mm-hmm. And then there's another one that you can unlock, but I fucked that up. So I could not get him. So I only had one thief. And then there was another guy that was part of his band that I just executed out of spite. That was going to be my other ranger or whatever. And I was just like, no, I'm done with you people. Cause after I made the decision, I realized I screwed up and I had already saved it. And I was like, I'm not going back. This is how we're living now.
Right.
And I was like, nope, I'm not doing it. These guys are done to me. So I don't know if you've gotten here yet, and I'm afraid to like spoil something for you. How have you gotten to the Elves Land yet?
No. I can go there, but I've been focused on Drakengard.
Okay. I'm gonna say it doesn't really matter. It's not like a main story point or anything.
No, it's fine.
So it's a side thing. It's involving that thief that I fucked up getting. Because I turned him into the town guard. Because I was like, fuck this guy. He's robbing people. Fuck this guy. I hate this guy. Also, he has weird eyes, and I didn't trust him. That was my.
He does have weird eyes.
He does have weird eyes, and I don't trust him. So that guy comes back up in the place where the elves are. Okay, and he also gives you a bullshit. The other part of his story is he gives you this whole sob story about like, well, my sister's sick, and that's why I'm robbing people. And I was like, but dude, you're pillaging towns, like because your sister's sick, really? Okay. So then
corroborated by his friend, though.
Yes, corroborated by his friend. And I was like, did his friend just buy into it? You know what? I'm done with a lot of you. You're all wrong. This is all stupid. You're all idiots.
This is Justin Ham justice.
It's bullshit. So then we get to the land of the elves, and this guy comes back up, okay, through a series of events. And now, mind you, his sister's sick, Julian.
Yes.
But he has now resorted to the slave trade of elves.
Ooh, okay.
Because his sister is sick. I was like, no, that's not, no. What the fuck are we doing?
Just hire a mercenary thief. Just.
I was like, what the fuck, man? What is wrong with this guy? And then at the end they were like, oh, we forgive him. I was like, I don't even get the chance to execute this asshole. Fuck this guy. I hate him so much. I'm glad he's gone. But oh man, I was like, that was like an example of the writing where I was like, you just kind of wrote an irredeemable character and just tried to give them this weird out with the sick sister bullshit that I still don't fully. I guess it was true because I don't know.
Yeah.
A girl.
That was the impression that I
once.
got, but I didn't realize that next time I saw him, he was going to be doing worse shit than the last time I saw him.
Maybe it won't escalate in your game, but if you turn him into the town guard, that's where he goes. It went in mine. I was like, what the fuck, man? This guy's terrible. I was like, oh, okay, what in the hell are we doing?
Yeah.
That's my one example of like, what in the fuck is going on in this game's writing? I don't know. This is so weird.
Yeah.
Outside of that, man, the game was good. I finished it. It slowly kind of like ramps up difficulty wise in like a nice way. Like
very nice way.
Yeah, and every new territory I would get to, I would like encounter like a new, this area's like unit squad type thing, and you would get there and you'd be like, oh, I gotta rearrange some things. This is not quite working. And so you do that, and then you figure out what works for this area, and then you start to get those unit types that you see, but like unique, cool versions of them and stuff like that, and start figuring out where they fit in and all that stuff. And
I texted you that because I was like, I love how you get to Drakengard. It's like, you're going to learn now. Because I had been steamrolling the game pretty much. Yeah. And I got to the first fight in Drakengard and I was still winning, but I was definitely taking way more damage than I had been in the past. And part of that was like the new units. Part of it was just like, oh, I've got to reconfigure, like move some of these people around. Some of it was like my gear was out of date.
Yeah.
But that's what I love about this game. And so one piece of gear, it's an accessory that I love. It's one of those things where you see it and when you first read the description, you're like, that sucks. Why would I want that? Yeah. Because it says gives plus 50% magic attack to a magic user, but reduces your magic attack by 50%. And I'm like, well, that just ends up like evening out. So like who cares? But you can give it to someone that's not a magic user. Yeah. So you throw that. I have it on like a Griffin Knight that has a mage in the back unit or in the back row. And so when that mage goes to attack, that move goes off. He gets like this huge attack off. Yep. She doesn't, and she doesn't need to worry about the penalty. It's awesome.
Right. Yep.
I forget what battle it was, but there was this particular fight where it went from, oh shit, oh fuck, oh no, I'm fucked, I got to redo this whole fight, to, oh, I've got this. Yeah. In a matter of moments, right? And like because the game is pretty fast paced.
Yes.
Like in the real time stuff. And it's a lot. If I had one complaint about the battles, it's that I wish that there was a way to see the entire map.
Yeah. Sometimes that gets a little overwhelming.
Because the maps can get pretty big, and there can be a lot of units on.
There's
on the
a lot of stuff going on. After a while, I got used to just like pausing a lot. And
me too. But even so, it's like.
But still, no, you're right. It's very overwhelming sometimes. But that's an RTS game.
That is an RTS, and and my problem that I'll run into is that I'll send a unit over to attack an enemy, but then that enemy will get killed by some other unit, and then I will forget to deploy that unit,
and so you have a guy just standing there forever. Yeah, I do that all the time. Even at the end of the game, I had stuff like that going on where I'm just like, oh yeah, I forgot to move Virginia around. She's just hanging out there.
Yeah.
That was, for whatever reason, it was always her. It was always her that she'd be like at the start of the map where I would be like, all right, I forgot to move her back. And because her unit was always my ace in the hole. Like if all else fails, I'll send Virginia's unit in there. They will murder some shit. And because they were good. I don't know what I did good with them, but I did.
Oh, well, she starts off good, and you probably
she starts off very good.
You probably want to pair her with the character she's introduced with, and that character is also really awesome.
And also you get one more of those characters, or you get like two more of those like sword fighter guys.
Yes, I've got one Aramis. He is in my Hodrick.
Have you met Melisandre yet?
Yes, I have her as well.
Okay, I was gonna say Melisandre was my favorite. She joins your army because your character's hot. I'm like, that's the best. I love it. That was one of my favorite parts of it. I was like, more stuff like this. This is what I want. Stupid shit like this.
I posted on Twitter, but I love the introduction of Amelia, or right? Is it Amelia? Wait,
Amelia?
The big girl.
Amalia,
yeah, because you're like, one of the characters is talking to this like, shopkeep, and the shopkeep sees her first, and she's like, she's huge. I was like, no, she's huge. She's like big. Marissa in armor. It's awesome.
Yes.
No, so this fight, I forget the actual details, but it was a thing where I had a couple units basically too far out, and the stuff that was coming towards them was going to fuck them up. And I was like, oh no, what do I do? What do I do? And I was like, wait, calm down. And I was like, arrow rain these units that are coming in, put up barricades right here. And then I think I did one other thing, and it bought me enough time to get another unit moved up that could do more damage and take the brunt of it. And then those other units who were about to be fucked were able to just go in and mop up and and that's the thing, right? Is that you can brute force a lot of the fights. You're just going to take a lot of damage.
Yeah.
And you have to use like more healing items and stuff like that. But you can finagle things to where you are taking little to no damage if you're playing your cards right. And a lot of it has to do with like the order that you're doing things, or, moving your units around, or what have you.
I always had like 2 or 3 units that I had like figured out that would kind of win the fight for me. Like I could just send them in. Like I only really needed these 3 guys, and they could probably do everything. But like I would always have like, but I'm gonna send these other like 3 guys that I'm kind of messing with, and we're gonna let them do what they can, and we're gonna see how it goes for them. And like sometimes I'd be like, okay, that didn't really work out, but it's fine. We'll mop up with the rest of the guys.
Yes,
it's okay. But yeah, like my what's the main character's name again? Orin or what?
Elaine.
Elaine, that's it. It doesn't even matter. It really. My Elaine unit though was like ridiculous because I had Elaine, Roderick, he's a spear guy, and then that one girl that was married to the one guy that had Clive or whatever.
Not Melisandre.
No. You know who I'm talking about. Miriam or Miriam, I can't remember her name. I had her, and they were all on the front line, so they were basically like a cavalry unit. And Miriam would heal everyone and just keep. And then I had Scarlet in the back, and then Yana in the back as well. Nice. So I had like Elaine would start off with this spinning blade attack that would get buffed by magic. So anything in the front row would just immediately get wiped out. Like it hit everything in the front row. Like it was just cleaned house every time. Like it was nuts. I even took that unit online and was just like, oh, well, I'm doing pretty good actually. This is pretty all right. This is against things that people have made. All right. This is not bad.
Right now, my unit for Elaine is Elaine with Scarlet behind him, Yana in the back row, and Jeremy in front of Yana.
Yeah.
And I've got Jeremy kitted out in such a way.
I had Jeremy in his unit for a while too, actually.
Yeah.
That was what I just said was my end game unit. I eventually I moved them around.
You can set up Jeremy very like right when you get him to where he will just kill for free. He just keeps killing and getting AP back so that he can kill again.
Yeah, you can have him and the other girl, There's 3 of them that are that kind of unit. They're like the mercenary units or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And like
the cell swords.
Cell swords. That's it. And they man, I put all 3 of them in a unit just to see what happened. It was wild. Like they were just going nuts. But at the same time, once they got hit by stuff, they couldn't take as much. Yeah, they crumbled. So I was like, okay, this isn't really working out, but it was fun.
Yes.
That's basically how that whole game was. It was just me putting stuff in like moving units around every couple battles and being like, all right, that's not really working out, but it was fun though. It was a good idea.
And I have definitely been like adjusting stuff, like sometimes, from battle to battle. And I mean like in an actual level, right? So like I'll because I do watch the battles and it's like, oh, okay, I need to adjust the properties of that move because it's not firing off when I want it to.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh shit, I need to move this character here because otherwise they're exposed. And then, oh shit, I also have to do this third thing. And once that's squared away, now they're killing. Like now they're awesome.
Yep.
And that was the last big story I had. So last night I did this pretty pivotal like story mission where the crux of it is you are outnumbered 10-1. The only way to really win this fight is to take out the enemy commander. And that's pretty much it. Like they do say that like if you kill enough enemies, like you can win, but I killed a shit ton of enemies and it kept going. So
you can I actually did it the other way. I never went after the commander. I just killed enough guys to where they gave up.
I killed 48 units. Maybe you have to kill 50 in order for it to count.
Yeah, it was something wild. But yeah, you can do that.
I loved this level because like it really let you be creative on how you wanted to do shit.
Yeah.
And so they tell you right off the bat, it's like, okay, we've got barricades set up. We've got these 2 catapults. Use them how you will. And I was like, I'm going to put 2 of my lower level units on the catapults, which let them power level like whoa.
Oh yeah,
because they were just killing so many units that way.
That will be a thing until the end of the game. I promise you.
Awesome. Yeah, it's so fun.
Have you found a ballista yet? Those are also very good for that too.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And also, using your valor points, because sometimes or your valor abilities, you can use that to do a bunch of damage on a bunch of units, and that'll all count as XP towards that party, which is really nice, right?
Yes.
But there is this one side of the map. So basically, enemies are coming in from like 4 sides of the map, and they're flooding in, right? You only have 2 catapults. So you've got those 2 corners kind of covered, but you have to figure out what to do on those other 2 points. And on one of the points, I was like, okay, it's all this same type of unit. Hodrick's unit can take them out. And there was a bridge. It's a choke point. And I had him go garrison at this bridge. And Justin, like I said, I killed 48 units in this fight. Yeah. Like 30 of those was Hodrick and his unit, because they were just a wall. It was like just water, like, breaking against it. And like they could not do shit, dude. It was so fun.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who I had, because I had just about the same type of thing happen where it might have been Virginia's unit, actually. I think that was where I established like, oh yeah, she's just the ace in the hole. Like I'll just put her here. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Because if you garrison on one of those things, like you don't lose any stamina, and if they can't fuck with you, they can't fuck with you. You just sit there and take them out at one after the other if they're rushing at you. It's pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that game's good, man. It's really good.
It's so good. I'm having so much fun with it.
Yeah,
and it's a really good game that like you can kind of like. Oh, I'm getting to the point now where like the story missions are getting up to like Final Fantasy Tactics length, right? Like I'm spending like a good hour on these.
Yeah, they're lengthy, but they're not like overwhelmingly bad, I would say.
No, what I was trying to get at is that like it's a game where you can do a lot of stuff in a short amount of time if you want. Like go explore the map, like get resources, go build up some towns, do stuff like that, or hop into a mission like if you know you're going to be like a little bit longer and stuff like that. It's really good for like different types of play sessions, and I really appreciate that.
Also, there's a lot of like I always appreciate when like I don't remember how much this happens earlier in the game, but I know later on in the game, especially like in the elves spot and like some of the other areas, it does the thing where it's like, hey, your objective's over here, but you're coming across these other little towns along the way.
Yes.
And there's like no real like story beat to them. It's just a little town and you're going to liberate it. And like the map will just be like super small. And it's just like a just go and I'm like, this is kind of nice actually. It just takes me like 2 minutes or whatever and I'm done.
Just bang this out. You know, you get access to some new shit, right?
Get some new shit. And it's like, oh, this is good. I like this. Yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah. And I just figured out that like whenever you liberate an area with like new units, there will be like a version of that unit that you can talk to fight. And they'll be like, hey, this is what we're good at. This is what we're weak to. Why don't you try us out? And I learned like kind of too late that like if you win those, you get like 2,000 gold.
Yeah.
And so today I was like going back and like mopping up areas.
Julian, I didn't realize that till like the end of the game because I was like, I don't care about beating these guys. Like, it's fine. Like, I'm not even because you don't get experience for a lot of that stuff. So I was like, oh, who cares? Like, I'll figure it out. But like, and then at some point I was like, oh, I could have got money from that. I had so much money almost all the time that it didn't matter that much. Because at one point, like I think around the third, not the or like the island after the elves or whatever, or the continent after the elves or whatever, I got there and was like, I might need to do a little bit of grinding to like kind of not like to catch up, but I was like, I'm not as powerful as I want to be, so I'm gonna go do some stuff just for fun. And because you can grind, you have to go to those little sigils and you can repeat those battles over and over again.
I was glad when those got introduced because I was starting to worry about that because I've had certain units start to fall behind. Like, Travis's unit was like my number one beast unit in the first few hours of the game, and all of a sudden he like fell way off, and I was like, no, I want to fix that. I want to make him viable again.
Yeah. So you just go in there and just send in the clowns sometimes and just be like, well, see what you guys got. And sometimes it works out quite. And they even give you like a lot of levels where it's like, here's a catapult. And you're like, thank God, I'll just get some experience that way. It'll work. And then eventually you outclass it with all your stuff, and then you move on, and then eventually you go, and then you do some story stuff, and then it'll introduce you to another one, but like almost like right on time when you want it. So it works out pretty well most of the time.
Yeah. The game is paced really well, and like you said, like the difficulty ramps up at a really nice pace where I've gotten to the point now where it's like, okay, I am challenged, but I am not banging my head against this wall. And and honestly, like I feel like a pretty awesome tactician in this particular game because
you really do. Yeah.
As much as I love, strategy RPGs, I will admit that like, it's kind of funny. I feel like most of the state select so far has been me being like, well, I'm not good at this. I'm not good at that. And people are like, well, what games are you good at? It's like, I don't know. Yeah. But
none
like,
of them, actually.
Usually it's like I kind of do brute force my way through strategy RPGs a little bit here and there. Where in this one, I really feel like I am making the decisions and I'm looking at my equipment very carefully and I am like moving units around and being like, okay, what can I do here? Oh no, this is good, right? This is good. Yeah. And then sure enough, like, it comes out really awesome. Like you talked about Miriam. I have her and Clive in the front line on a unit. And then behind them I have a mercenary shaman, and I forget what the other unit is. I think it's another mage, and that they just annihilate, and they stay up. It's really cool.
I keep forgetting that you only have 4 guys in a unit. Like, wait till you get 5. Like,
I know.
It's
like,
even
dude,
more fun.
the possibilities like boggle the mind at this point.
it's fun. Like, I was just like, oh right, yeah, he hasn't gotten to where you get 5 in a unit yet. Yeah. That's right. Oh man, yeah. The only time I got like to the point where I was like, I'm ready for this to end was like right before I went to go beat it. It was just about. I was like, okay, I'm pretty ready for this to be done. Like there was like at the end of the game, like I said, I've complained about the writing a lot, and I'm still gonna complain about the writing. Like at the end of the game, it gives you like it's kind of like lore dump, like in like one of the weirdest ways. Like not at the very end, but like right before you go do the last thing. It's like, here's this weird lore dump that you really don't care about. And I'm like, boy, I don't care about it. I don't care about this.
Yeah.
And you will not make me care about it. It's something.
I am looking forward to getting deeper in the game, because that fight that I was talking about where you're outnumbered 10-1, it gave me such 13 Sentinels battle vibes.
Yeah.
Because, you know, because a lot of the damage I was doing was outside of combat, where you just see like the catapult come down and like just like all these numbers pop off and like the units explode. And I'm like, oh, that reminds me of like the final few battles of 13 Sentinels. This is doing something to Julian's brain.
Yeah, you might. I'm not going to say you'll have that moment again. I can't remember. I've forgotten a lot of the fights already, because they all kind of blend together at a certain point.
Sure.
But like that one is pretty unique, in comparison to a lot of the other ones. But like they're all pretty good.
Yeah.
They're all just fine. Like I'm trying to think of any that I've complained. The only thing in the battles that I would complain about, other than like how big or how not being able to see all the stuff in the maps, is like sometimes I hate the time limit.
Yeah, I've only run against it once, but it seems like a weird thing. And I also don't, the whole way that it marks time is weird, because when you finish a fight, it'll say that like, oh, this took you like 1 minute something or other. And I'm like, no, it didn't. Like I was in it for an hour. Like what are like, how are you measuring time?
It's only counting. I don't think it counts when you have it paused, because the time limit's not ticking down. So I think it only counts when you have it unpaused. One time I think I failed a mission, and this is when I learned that it was even a thing, because I was kind of like, I wasn't paying that much of attention to it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like, I can't remember. I was like, oh, I'm going to beat this guy, but I'm going to beat him real good. And I like got everybody together and did like a big valorous charge or thing or whatever with the Elaine's unit. And I was like, we're going to go beat his ass now. And then I got up to him and I got one hit away, and it was like time expired. And I was like, oh, well,
yeah, it's a weird thing to have.
It is. It's weird. I'm just like, just let me do the big cool thing that I wanted to do. The only good thing I will say is like you can use an item to just be like, hey, do you want to just start from where you are? Because I was literally like one hit away. It was like a tougher boss, if I remember right. And I was like, okay, I would like to use that, because I don't want to do that whole fucking fight again. So yeah, that's fine. Use a hallowed corn ash or whatever this is. That's fine.
I've been using those, you know, to like, I don't use them a lot, but I have used them a couple of times to like get my, you know, like correct for a mistake that I made early on, where it's like, oh shit, like I left my base undefended, and like I need to get back there real quick. And it's like, okay, hallowed corn ash, teleport, you know, like ability or stone, get back over there. We're good to go, or what have you. If you have a town garrisoned, you can withdraw units and deploy them back. Yes, but like sometimes that like isn't an option. But yeah, right, and that's where this particular situation was, where it's like I couldn't get them back in time to, you know, redeploy. And it was just like, oh shit, like I wasn't expecting them to make a beeline for it like this early in the fight. Yeah. I'm usually like keeping an eye on that stuff. I don't know why. I guess something. I do have some RTS experience from my old StarCraft and Warcraft playing days, but that was a long time ago. So I do remember like, oh yeah, you got to keep an eye on this shit sometimes. Yes. I think I only got blindsided like once, and I don't remember how it happened. But yeah, I it's definitely like all of a sudden I look back, I was like, oh, that guy's like right at my base. I lost this one. I'm gonna start this over. Oh well, what are you gonna do? Do not sleep on Unicorn Overlord, listeners. It's good. It's quite good. Well, I mean, if it depends. If you don't like strategy games and stuff like that, I feel like you know if that game's gonna be up your alley. But if you like strategy games even a little bit, you should probably play it. It's really good. I was not expecting there to be a challenger to Infinite Wealth's Game of the Year throne for me so soon. Yeah. But this is already, I'm like, oh shit, it's a fight already. It gets very addicting very quickly. Yeah. Yes. Justin was at 50 hours last week. I'm only at just shy of 20 hours right now. Yeah. So I'm still pretty early. I can't remember what my final playtime was. I did just about everything there was to do in the game, because I had that much fun with it. And that's the thing that I'm kind of planning on that myself.
Yeah. It's not like an overwhelming amount either. Like it felt fine. Like
Yes.
like I said, the only thing I didn't do was the treasure map stuff, and I was just like, it was like right at the end of the game when I realized I was like, I don't really need any of this shit. I'm kind of done there. That is one thing. There's like an end game, kind of, but not really. I wish there was more of an end game actually, and maybe there will be. Maybe they'll like put some like challenge stuff out that you can do later on. I'd be into that, because like the end game gives you like, I do like certain parts of it because it's like, hey, you can go back to where this decision was, and you can go back in time to do this mission again, like the final mission. You can do that over again. And we've also added one extra little thing that you can go do. It's like, okay, cool. So you go do the extra thing and you do it. It's pretty cool. And then you get a bunch of new stuff, like a bunch of new units and stuff that, or from other things. And it's like, oh, that's really awesome that I have this now. I have all these new toys. And I'm like, but I have nowhere to play with them at. Like, I have all this cool stuff, but what am I going to do with it? That's kind of, which, like, I guess I can go do, like, one of the repeatable things, right? But that's about it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wish there was a little bit more to do, but I get it. Like, but at the same time, I was like, but I am done. Like, I'm really done.
Yeah.
Like, it was so it was fine.
And it sounds like this game is actually selling pretty well for them, which is really good to hear.
That's
because
good.
Apparently, like, they ran out of money while making this game, and like George Kamitami was like paying like out of pocket to keep the game, to keep the studio afloat while they finished it. And it's like,
well, that's good.
Yeah, so I'm glad that it's interesting too, because like, and we can talk news whenever we want, right? Like, it's not a big deal. I don't necessarily want to talk about. Well, we'll talk a little bit of stuff here, and there's a segment later on that we have planned for tonight, but we should acknowledge, like, so far it has been the worst year for video game developers. After the previous worst year of 2023, we're already, like, it was like 10,000, I think like 12,000 or something like that, or 10,000-ish, like, jobs lost last year, right? Yeah. We're at like around 8,000 or 9,000 already, and it's we're moving into the second quarter of the year. It's awful, but the thing is that games are selling, and that's the thing that's extra like frustrating about this. And games like a Dragon Infinite Wealth are selling really well. Right. Unicorn Overlord seems to be selling well for what they were expecting it to do. Right. I don't know yet because it just came out, but I feel that Dragon's Dogma 2 is poised to sell really well. And the first game actually, like, I never understood why they never did an actual sequel to it, because the first game, I remember, sold well above Capcom's expectations at the time.
It's possible. I can't remember if it did or not. I remember the news stories. Yeah, like, they were like, oh, it did way better than we were expecting it to. And I'm like, yeah, it seemed like a really awesome surprise hit. Where's the sequel? But we'll talk about it a little later. But I think it's because, like, the director was like, I can't realize my vision yet. So I like, he doesn't have the technology yet. Yeah. So hold on. You have to wait.
Yeah. But we'll get to that a little later. That's Unicorn Overlord, folks. Highly recommended by the Stage Select as a whole. But that leads me to a new segment.
Okay.
Welcome to Big Dumb Quiz.
Oh, okay.
Hi, I'm Spence Sterling, and we are here for Big Dumb Quiz. Tonight, we have Justin Ham, a nuclear physicist from Hoboken.
I don't know about that. That's not my job.
Welcome, Justin.
Hi.
We have a Big Dumb Quiz for you tonight.
Okay.
Fuck, marry, kill, Justin.
Oh, I don't like
Tai
these.
Takemi from Persona 5. Berengaria from Unicorn Overlord.
Okay.
Or Ciri from The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt.
Ooh. All right. I don't like the concept of this game. I have a moral hatred of it. As an asexual person, because I'm always like, I don't know.
Fuck you, it's Big Dumb Quiz.
Fine. All right. I guess, all right. Let's see. Berengaria, we have Siri, and we have, Tai Takemi. Oh man. They have 2 goth girls and I guess another goth girl with white hair though. Well, Berengaria is kind of, you know what? I would probably, as much as I like Berengaria, you'd probably have to kill her. She's cool and all. And I did marry her in Unicorn Overlord. I'm not gonna lie about that. I definitely did. But here's the thing. She's the game was like, why are you doing this the entire time? Which was pretty funny to me. So yeah, I guess guess you have to kill her. Let's see. Then we have Tai Takemi. She seems unreliable. I guess have relations with Tai Takemi, and then I guess marry Siri. Siri seems very nice. She's the nicest of the bunch. And I like that.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Judges? Ooh, I'm sorry. That was the wrong answer.
Oh, this doesn't seem like a thing that there was a right answer to.
Have you seen Berengaria fight? You can't kill her.
I didn't know it was a question of could I kill them. Yeah. That's
it for tonight. Big Dumb Quiz.
All right. Well,
I'm Spence Sterling. See you next time.
All right. That's fine.
So that all came about from the fact that I have a new thing that I like to do when I'm playing video games, which is find the Justin character. And when I saw Berengaria, I was like, oh, I think I found the Justin character.
Yep, absolutely, 100%. I definitely married Berengaria in that game, and the game at the end of the game, it was like, why did you do that? That's weird. But they have lines for for doing all the stuff. And that's the only. Okay. There's so I said something about the marriage thing. You haven't unlocked that yet. It'll come about. When I got to where I could actually like pick somebody, I had I don't know, 6 different options because I was doing a lot of the little conversations that come up, and I was like, okay, let me save my game and watch all of them. And Berengaria is the only one that actually makes out with your character, which I thought was interesting. Everybody else is all shy and weird about it, and she's like, "Nah, fuck it, let's do this shit." Yeah. It's like, okay, she seems cool. I like her a lot.
Is it only marriage for the main character, or can you marry other characters together?
No, it's only for the main character.
Okay,
yeah, it's not Fire Emblem levels of hookup fun, which I enjoy.
Yes, me too. The character interplay stuff hasn't been quite up to my standards. It's
never gonna get super great. I think Berengaria and Travis have some stuff that I'm like, okay, that's okay. Mm-hmm. Some of them are kind of fun, especially when the marriage thing does come up, which is right around. That'll be the next continent, the elves stuff. That stuff starts to pop up a little bit more, but it's never super great. It just kind of it's not. Fire Emblem is kind of the same way where I'm always like, it's fine. Sometimes that stuff's really good in Fire. I don't know, it's tough. Fire Emblem's another game that I don't care if the story's good. I just want to know what the next unit you're going to give me is. That's all I'm playing that game for. That's half the time what I'm there for.
I'm usually there for the strategy stuff, but also the character stuff. And that's probably because the first game that I played was Awakening, that was the big part of that game, right?
Yes.
Time travel babies, right?
Yes.
And so that's always been a thing for me, right? Three Houses, for me, it was definitely about those characters. And
it did have some good characters. I'm usually when it comes to those games, I'm usually pleasantly surprised if the storyline's decent. And everything else is what I'm there for, actually. So
yeah, because I think for me, like I thought the story of Awakening was fine, but the characters were really great.
Yeah,
and then Fates, I liked the story more than the characters. Three Houses, I was kind of equally in. Like I liked the story and the characters a lot. And then Engage, it was like the handful of characters that I really liked kind of carried me through that game.
yeah, Unaka. It's basically just Unaka. That's really the only one I remember anymore.
I don't remember the name. There were two. There was the girl that was riding on the wolf because she became nigh untouchable. Yeah. She was awesome by the end of the game. She was
cool. Yeah.
And then like the redhead girl with the axe was like one of my like killer units. I loved her.
Oh, I forgot who that was.
She has kind of like a Halloween goth thing going on with her look.
Oh, yeah. She was like one of the main characters, right?
Kind of. Yeah.
She was like a princess or some shit of one of the lands, or am I thinking of the wrong?
No. I think she was like a retainer to a princess or something like that.
Oh, the one I'm thinking of rode on like a wyvern. She's like a wyvern.
No. She's on. This one's on foot.
Okay. No. I think I'm wrong. Yeah, I don't even remember.
Yeah.
Oh boy. I just remember I remembered Unaka, that's about it.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
You thought Roddy Piper's character died at the end of They Live. You thought Roddy Piper died. You thought wrong.
I don't like this one bit. Again.
With the magic of AI and the creative bankruptcy of the movie industry, they're back.
I need you to put on the glasses. Again.
See the sequel that no one saw coming. The Washington Post says, who is this even for?
Look around you. They're everywhere. Again.
The ghost of Roger Ebert says, it's a soulless cash grab, but I had fun. John Carpenter says, do whatever the fuck you want. Just keep my name off of it and let me play my video games.
I am here to chew bubble gum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubble gum. Again.
See John Carpenter's They Live. Again.
So that's it for me. That's all I've done since last time is fucking Unicorn Overlord and you know, that's what I'll be doing after we're done with this episode.
Well, that's good. Yeah, I mean, I get it. Trust me, I do. Well, let's see. What have I done? I've been invoking a lot of dark forces in WWE 2K24, so that's been fun.
Dark forces.
Dark forces, yes, absolutely. Dark AI forces, in fact. I'm starting to reach beyond the black wall. It's. I have like 3 or 4 different ones that I use for different shit in that game. It's getting out of control. So okay. And I don't even like, I'm starting to do it just to entertain myself.
Right.
Like, okay, here's the thing. Okay, so I a long time ago on Nerds Without Pants, for those that never listened to that show, let me mention something that I started doing last year in WWE 2K23. You can take a screenshot in the game and you can turn that into, you can make an AI go, you make that a real person, and then it'll do it. It won't be happy about it, but it'll do it. and then you take that real person and you make like a render type thing, so it has a picture and it puts it on the versus screen, and it looks cool. It makes it look like it's a real person. I was just doing it to entertain myself. So I go in this year like, oh, let me try to do that again. Let's see if I can do it. And now it's even easier. Like, it's like a button click now. It's like, hey, do you want to just enhance this thing? And it's like, yeah. And it just makes it. I'm just like, oh, okay. I used to have to fight with it. I used to have to like type in a bunch of shit and be like, no, that doesn't work. And this doesn't work. And I got to fucking do this. And this, all right, this isn't going to work. And no, their hands came out weird on that one, which that's still a thing. But you'd have to keep messing with it. It'd take like hours to get one right, but it became its own game in itself, was doing that. And now it's just like, no, just hit this button. And it's like, oh, all right, cool.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, now what's the new game? And what the new game is so I've always had one weak point, and it is I cannot do face scan shit for anything. Don't know how to do it. I don't know how to implement it in the game. I think it looks weird, and I still think it looks weird, and this is why I've not saved any of the things that I've experimented with. But what I started doing, Julian, was I would turn a screenshot into a real person. Then I figured out that you could take, and I think I read about it or something, that you could take a face and you could use FaceApp to swap it onto like a blank template for face scan shit. So I would take the AI person that it made, use FaceApp, a FaceApp equivalent type thing, to swap the face onto a template. And then I would take so I was trying to put the fucking face that an AI made into the fucking game as a face scan thing. Dark forces. Just the darkest forces.
Yeah,
that
is like a snake eating its own tail type
yeah,
of thing.
It's weird. It's really weird. I was just like, I just want to know how fucking far I can go here. And then I did it, and I was like, I just think face scan shit looks weird. It just never, it wasn't that it came out weird. I could get it to work, and it looked like the thing. And it was just like, but it just looks weird. Like, there's something about the face scan stuff in that game where, like, and again, this was the other reason I wanted to mess with it, because I've never really fucked with it before, and I just kind of wanted to dick around with it. It's been the one thing, like, if you asked me to go break down everything in that character editor, I could do it until we got to that, because I'd be like, I don't really know how to do this. I've never fucked with it, and it's like a big thing. And I was like, let me at least mess with it. And I'm like sitting in there, and I'm like, okay, like, the picture seems like off from where I'm fucking moving the things around. And then like apparently one thing is just to get the picture lined up, but even if you have it lined up, it doesn't look like it's lined up. And then you got to like cut the eyes out of the picture because they fucking show up on the face. Oh, it's weird, man. I hate it. It's really weird. Yeah. I don't like it. But I just wanted to mess around with it. So I was like, if this works, it'll be pretty funny. I mean, it did work, but it was whatever. But that was the dark technology that I started invoking, and that's 2K24 talk.
Well, before we move on to the next thing you've been up to, Justin.
Okay.
It is time for Belgium facts. Belgium facts.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Hello, Belgium.
Hi, Belgium. How you doing?
I'm still committing to the bit here.
Oh. Okay.
We've gone down a little bit in the rankings in Belgium since last week, but I think that's probably just, that's expected. But we're still on the video game rankings in Belgium. So we continue to be like most popular there, apparently.
Belgium demands more 311 button.
Yes. Justin, did you know that the Big Bang Theory originated in Belgium? Apparently it was a Belgian, the priest and physicist, Georges Lemaitre. I probably completely butchered that. Who first came up with what is now called the Big Bang Theory of the origin of the universe in 1927. The theory is often attributed to Edwin Hubble, although records show Lemaitre published a similar theory 2 years before Hubble.
Okay.
Which I was not aware that sitcom was that old.
Okay, I was. You went the same place I was going with. Yeah. I was like, it's sad that I just think about the sitcom when I hear the Big Bang Theory.
It really is, especially because I detest that show.
It's not a great show. It's really not. Yeah, it's not a good one. I mean, all sitcoms are pretty bad, but you can
that
fight
one in
me on
particular.
that.
Yeah. But that's been Belgian facts. Thank you for your time. Belgian facts.
Well, I mean, you know what? We're just going to do it now. It's that time again. Chill. We hit the 311 button. That's what time it is.
You hit the 311 button.
I did. And I'll hit it again. 300.
Well, not this well.
Times.
You'll hit it one more time this episode.
I will hit it one more time. I'm gonna do it.
Yes.
This is the 311 minute. It's time. Here we have to count down 311 facts until we hit 311 facts. It's the whole thing.
It's like that anime where she has to make like 1,000 friends or whatever.
Yes, so this will run the tally up to 8. I've just changed it. This is our 311 fact for this episode. The CEO of Campbell's Soup Company, Mark Klaus, has no idea who 311 is. And that's your 311 fact. That's your 311 minute. Thank you for your time.
Chill.
Definitely true fact that was not manufactured at all. Very real.
No, it's very real.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know why you.
I was talking to Bill. We did another Final Fantasy interview this week for this current series, and he was like, "Dude, I was dying every time that Justin hit the 311 button. It's so good."
I'm glad he likes it. I dark forces at work with that one, but you know what are you going to do?
Yeah.
And we have to do it. It's now a commitment. It's now a commitment. It's now a commitment because, you know.
So one thing that listeners should know is about Justin is that you can become incredibly stubborn for certain things.
For certain things, yes.
Before we recorded that episode, you know, and I think it was before Mike got on the call. It was just you and I was like, so we've got an email and it's about the 311 button. And you were like, oh, really? Uh-huh. And I was like, yeah. And there were some concerns about the 311 button, not just the email. And like, there was like this twinkle that went off in your eye. And I was like, oh, fuck. Oh no, here we go. I know where this is going.
Oh yeah. No, because it was fun. I don't know. Listen, now it becomes even funnier to me. Like I will keep doing it until it becomes funny to the one person that doesn't think it's funny. So yeah, sorry about your luck. I also played Dragon's Dogma 2, which we talked about a little bit, but I didn't play it for that long. I've only put like 3.5 hours into it so far. I just started it today, so this is the freshest take you can have on Dragon's Dogma 2. About 2.5 hours of that time was me creating a character. Creating 2 characters, because I didn't realize it was going to ask me to make another one. Good character editor. Very good character editor.
Very good. Yeah. So I messed with that because they released that like ahead of the game, but I was instantly disappointed for my uses because I was trying to make a version of my Final Fantasy 14 character, and he's got like blue-gray skin, and you can't really do a lot with the skin color.
No, you can't. I think you can't even do like a lot with hair color. Like it doesn't have a color wheel; it just has preset colors. So they were trying to they kept it like a little grounded on that front.
Yeah, which get.
That's fine. I never do anything super crazy anyway. Well, that's not necessarily true. I can't put AI faces into this game, so you know whatever.
I mean, I'm sure you bought it on PC, so I'm sure there's a mod for that coming down the pipe.
Yeah, that is true. I did buy it on PC. You never know. I'm good on that. No, but I made an Asian lady, and she looked very good. I was pretty impressed with how it came out. There's not like an overwhelming amount of sliders that you can use. I was kind of like, oh, this is less sliders than I thought there was. They're kind of relying on the presets that are there and you being able to tweak them just enough. And there is just enough tweaking to where you can do a pretty good job. I was under the impression that it was like basically the creator from Street Fighter 6, just like a little bit more grounded. No, it's more like the Monster Hunter one. Okay. If memory serves, the Monster Hunter one is like more comparable to this one. It's good though. It's very good. And the stuff that I have seen, like people's screenshots and stuff, all of them look really great. Like they don't look like
created characters. They look like
they
authored
look-
characters from the company.
Yeah, they look really good, and
Yeah.
a lot of that has to do with the strength of the preset faces that they have, and yeah, you can tweak them enough to where they, like I said, they each one look different, but a lot of like what the core of what that character is going to look like comes from the presets. It's one of those type of characters. I've been throwing around this idea with myself recently where I'm like, I should start a list and rank every character creator ever made. Nobody can do it except for me. I'm the only one that knows all the ins and outs of all these character editors. I've spent more time in fucking character editors than anyone else. I should do it.
That sounds like something that we should apply some science to.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I should start some lists like that. Maybe one of these days I will do that, but that would be a lot of work because I have to hunt down a lot of fucking games for that. But anyway, this one's good. It's I would rank it like it's on the top end of character creators. It's probably not counting wrestling games. It's probably somewhere underneath of like Neo, like Neo 2 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That one had like an amazing character editor, if I remember right.
I saw a screenshot of a ridiculously realistic looking Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, and I was like, okay.
Oh yeah,
That's
it's good.
impressive.
It's very good.
Yeah.
It's very good. I like. I'm trying to think now. Yeah, so I made my characters and I made my first character. It was an Asian lady. She looked really good. And that was what it was. So one thing about character editors is no matter how good the editor itself is, it's only going to be as good as the hairstyles that are in it, because like sometimes not the greatest hairstyles in games. This one's like kind of middle of the road on hairstyle stuff, in my opinion. Like there's some ones that are like pretty decent. In fact, there's one in there. I was going through them and I'm like, man, I recognize some of these. I've seen these before. Where the hell have I seen these before? Like I'm going through, I'm like just sitting there going over. I'm like, I know this hairstyle. I've used this one before. Oh my God, Skyrim modding. Yep. I've definitely used this before. And I'm pretty sure Capcom just like kind of puts like, they have a thing and they'll just put kind of the same ones in certain editors and shit like that, which I would do too. Why not?
WWE games have had like the Super Saiyan Goku hair since like the PlayStation 2. Right.
Yes. Like, and they still have it. And there's some that have stuck around forever and really need updating. They're like they put new ones in this year, like not an overwhelming amount of new hairstyles, but like some new ones. Like I was like, oh, that's new. That's cool. And like you look at them next to like some of the older ones, you're like, wow, they really should update these. They look really they're almost starting to look like Sims hairs, where it's like clayified almost. They're like, yeah, you should probably update these. Anyway, I used the hairstyle on a character that I had in Skyrim, so it worked out. I made that character and I got into the tutorial. I was like, okay, this is good. We're going to play the game. And I start playing the game and I go through the thing and a man is yelling at me and I gotta move a rock around, and then I get in a fight and I win the fight. And they teach me how to fight and I just press buttons. It didn't seem very hard. I could climb on the snake lady. She seemed upset about it, but it was fine. Man,
it's been so long since I climbed on a snake lady.
Yeah, well, sometimes you gotta climb on a snake lady, Julian.
Yeah.
And I stabbed her with a knife, I think. I'm not really sure what happened. But then oh,
that's what you're calling it.
Oh no, you're thinking of a different thing. But then I got into the rest of the thing. I was on a griffin. The griffin got shot, and then I walked to a place with a man. And the man was telling me how to play the game some more, I think. I don't really know. I wasn't really paying that much of attention. I was just kind of like, I know what I'm doing now.
Justin, I just feel that, like, from what I've heard of this game, you're probably going to want to start paying attention, like, when you're walking around.
Nah, it'll be fine. And then I got to the other town and it was like, now you get to make another character. And I was like, okay, well, I just spent a lot of energy making that last one.
Right.
But okay, I guess I'll make another character. So I made a blonde lady. That was the rival of in my wrestling stuff. She's the rival of the other lady that I usually make. And so I was like, they'll team up this time. That's what I do when I have to make 2 characters. So I did that. It was very overwhelming. They throw a lot of shit at you, like really quick, which I don't hate, but at the same time, I'm starting to have the exact same reaction I had to when I played the first Dragon's Dogma. Cause I don't know if I ever talked about it on anything. I did boot that up one time and I played it for like an hour or a couple hours or something like that. I remember I made a character, got through the opening part, and then just was like, I don't know what to do. It's like, what am I supposed to do actually? And it goes through the whole pawn system, which is really, really cool. That shit's awesome. Like people can take your pawn and like, it'll go on quests and it'll come back and tell you about stuff and it'll know things. And you're like, oh, that's really cool.
Yeah. So for people who've never like played this game or heard, like, looked into it, the pawns are like, it's basically like you're playing an online RPG, but offline. Right. And the pawns are like, they're in place of your online, like, party members.
Yes.
You create one pawn and then you hire other pawns to create a full party. And some of them can either be like, I think just the game generates them, but others you'll just run into in the world that are from other people's games. Yeah,
some are made by Capcom, some are made by like other people, and you can search for them very specifically, like by what you want and what level you want them to be and all this stuff. Like I seen Wooly's pawn. Like I could have downloaded that. And I was like, that's cool. I didn't even know that. Like I didn't even know he was playing this game. That's awesome.
Did you see the preview video that Pat made for Dragon's Dogma 2?
No, I did not.
So Pat made himself like he always does.
Yeah.
And it opens with him finding Wooly's pawn just in the world. Like he happened upon him.
Yeah.
And he picks him up over his shoulder and carries him and throws him off a cliff into the ocean.
As one does. And I
was like, okay, I think I'm sold on this game already.
Yeah, you can do things like that. It's pretty fun. There's just like a river that eats people. I don't really understand what's going on there.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's very strange. I'm intrigued by it. I definitely have to play more of what I played, but I'm definitely having that reaction of like, I got done with all that stuff and learned about the pawn system and kept going, wow, that's really cool. Mm-hmm. And then it was like, okay, now go do a thing. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
What do you want me to do? All right. And then it's like, and then it starts like giving you stern warnings about things. It's like, you might want to stop and stay at an inn because sometimes the game, like we only really have, like you don't want to rely on the autosave, so you're gonna want to stay at an inn sometimes.
They're like, this is the only way to hard save. You better hard save.
Yeah, you better hard save every once in a while. I'm like, okay, well I appreciate that warning, but now I'm scared. I'm like, I don't know what. And then I went and fought some harpies and saved a man, and he seemed okay with it. I got some other people's pawns because I was like, well, let's put the RPG party together. Why not? Because I put like the mage and the rogue, and I was the bow lady, and then and the other pawn that I made was a fighter lady, and I put my girl squad together, and we're like, we're gonna go do some damage. It was fun. So that's kind of cool. I don't remember who I downloaded, but
right.
It seemed there was like I immediately like I hit the stone to download something, and immediately like it's just like, okay, here's some guys, and like one of them looks like Kratos. Like somebody just made Kratos and it's standing there. I'm like, what the fuck is this game, man? And then I walk over. I was like, okay, I need a mage actually. So let me find that. And I search, and like it'll just give you people within that criteria that you're looking for. And like one of them's just like looks like the girl from Game of Thrones, the dragon lady or whatever. And I'm like, I'm like sitting there like, you just made that. Okay. All right. Yeah. Why not? Fuck it.
As we established, good create a character mode. Like
it's pretty good. Like you can do some shit. It's pretty good. I have to say. So I'm intrigued by it.
Yes.
I will definitely have to play some more and get back to you on the rest of it. Like it plays fine. Like so far, and I like that. Like, if I don't like how my character plays, I can just go change their class whenever and just go from there, which is nice. But like, so like I said, I was a bow lady. I like shooting a bow. The bow shot good. From what I played. You press a button to shoot bow. That's good.
Yeah.
You hold a button, it also will aim and shoot a bow. That's good. That's all I need. And sometimes I can do a little kick.
Oh, I like to do a little kick.
Yeah, sometimes you do a little kick.
Yeah.
Kick them in the head. I don't know what you do. But yeah, it seems neat. That's Dragon's Dogma 2. That's really all I got.
Well, I was going to say, so I was waiting. I've been kind of eyeing this one since they announced it, and looking at preview coverage and stuff like that. And I wanted to wait for reviews, and I also like wanted to like start seeing people playing it. So I watched a little bit of like, Wooly had a really nice like stream when he started it, where Pat was like, dialed in and kind of talking to them like as they were like starting the game out, which was a lot of fun. I watched a little bit of Nextlander mess around with it. Yeah. It's interesting, and I also want to talk a little bit about like the capital D discourse around this particular game, because people are shitting bricks over it. Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I forgot about that. Look, I love Stephanie Sterling. I couldn't make it like 5 minutes into their video on this one because I was like, yeah, I don't think you're getting what this game is putting down, and what this game I think is putting down, and it's interesting to me. And I yesterday I realized what this game makes me think of. And it makes me think of original NES Final Fantasy 1. Removed from any improvements that they made to the game later on. Yeah. Right? Final Fantasy 1 as it was originally created was a game very light on story that was all about the journey, right? And a lot of that journey was hard. And part of that journey was learning to prepare for this next leg of the journey by, do you have enough items, right? Are you equipped well enough? Are you not? Then go make some money and equip yourself. Yeah. Get ready to go down into this dungeon. Are you not powerful enough to get to the end of this dungeon? Then leave the dungeon, go resupply, come back to the dungeon and see how much further you can get. That is so much of what I'm getting from Dragon's Dogma 2, where it's like, prepare for an outing. Right? Like, get your supplies ready, get your characters ready, get your armor and stuff ready. You're going to go out on an expedition. You might have like a quest that you need to do, but on the way to that destination, shit's going to happen to you. Right. And that's like a big part of the game is like just you'll start a fight and then that fight spills into another fight. And then all of a sudden the monsters are fighting each other, but they're also fighting you, and it's bedlam. And somehow you like claw your way out of that. You're like, oh, okay, we're almost dead, but we made it. But we still gotta like continue, right? And like a lot of the game, it seems designed to be punishing in a way that's different from like Elden Ring, right. But in a way that's very intriguing to me that I think I could actually be really into, because I understand that that's what the game is asking of me as I'm going in, right? And like, one of the big things, right, the big controversies around the game is like all of the microtransaction shit that's in the game. To buy, that was the big one. Yeah. Julian, I'll tell this story. Julian, one day, I can't remember. I think it was like the day after it came out. Julian messaged me like, I might be down with Dragon Dogma 2. And I was like, I remember like earlier that morning I had looked at Reddit. And like just was just like everybody hated it. And I was like, I guess everybody hates it. That's all. I didn't read into any of why everybody hated it. It was just like, all the reviews are negative. And then I looked more into it. I'm like, I okay, all right. I see what's going on here. Well, I also didn't realize at the time there was a separate thing going on the PC, which was the frame rate issues. The PC, the PC did have its thing, and I'm guessing they're still there. I haven't run into any of that yet, but I think it'll happen as you start to get into like the bigger fights, and the bigger like cities and stuff is when it sounds like that shit hits, and it also depends on what kind of rig you have. So we'll see how that goes, but yeah. So there's a few things about the whole microtransaction thing. Yes, it's awful, right? It's stupid. But also Capcom has been doing this on every single one of their games for like a decade. Time. Yeah. And I honestly do think, I'm not the first person to say this, but the impression that I get is that there is a suit somewhere in Capcom that is not on the development side of things that is like, yo, we need to make extra money on this game. Like, what do you have something ready? And the developers are like, we don't want to do this, so we're just going to put the stupidest shit in here that's for sale.
Shit that most people wouldn't buy that they kind of give out for free anyway. And it's like, well, why would anybody buy? That's the point, I think. I don't know.
It is too, yes. And, we can't speak for them.
It feels like that's the point,
Yeah. But that's what it feels like. And then also, so like, one of the big things that Stephanie Sterling was complaining about was fast travel. It costs 10,000 gold in the game to fast travel, but you can buy it for real money. And I was like, hearing that it costs 10,000 in-game gold to fast travel tells me that the game doesn't want you to fast travel. It's baked into the game. This is a game where they want you to crisscross the countryside because that's where the shit happens.
Yeah. Like, look, people mod Skyrim to take fast travel out. There is a group of a contingent of people that like that sort of thing. As weird as that is. And it's definitely not for everyone. I play Skyrim a lot of the time where I'm like, I'm not going to fast travel. I'm banning it from myself. I don't like mod it out, but I was just like, I'm not going to do it. Not going to do it.
And I think for me, like with a lot of open world games, I feel I do fast travel a lot because I'm like, I don't want to traverse this world.
Yes.
But the way Dragon's Dogma 2 is set up makes me feel that like, no, I'm going to want to traverse this world.
That's probably very possible that's what they're going for. I'm kind of intrigued by it. Like I said, it throws a lot at you in the beginning, and I'm still not fully like, I don't really know what I'm supposed to do or where I'm gonna go do it. But I'll figure it out as I go. And slowly, like, I'm just kind of figuring it out. And maybe I'll never figure it out. But I do remember having that in the first Dragon's Dogma where I put it down and was like, I might come back to that. And then I just never did because I was like, it was weird. It was just it threw a lot at you all at once. And then, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, it's a game that I could see myself getting really into, but possibly not finishing, but having my fill. In a satisfying way, right? Like, I could see it being a game where it's like, I don't need to roll credits on this, but I've played enough of it where I'm like, oh no, I really loved this, but like my time is done, at least for the foreseeable future or whatever.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Like, I want to finish Unicorn Overlord, and then I want to finish Rebirth, and then Dragon's Dogma 2 is probably next.
I got to get back into Rebirth, really. So.
Yeah, we'll talk in a little bit about like what's coming up because it's been a banger of a year so far. Honestly, like I think the beginning of 2024 has been even higher than the beginning of 2023, which was like a historically great year for video game releases.
Right.
But right now, it is time for another Belgium fact. Belgium facts.
Oh, okay.
Did you know that cricket is thought to be a Belgian invention, not British?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Academics believe immigrants from North Belgium could have imported the game to Britain based on a poem thought to have been written in 1533 that calls Flemish weavers king of crickets, or crickets, and also mentions wickets, predating English references dating to the 1600s.
Okay.
So, yeah. So maybe you don't need to know what a crumpet is to understand cricket.
No, probably not.
You need to, I don't know what they eat in Belgium, but you need to know what that is before you understand cricket.
They eat food there.
I mean, yeah, but I don't know what like a Belgian, well, I guess
Belgian food.
Yeah. Like I don't know what's like the big cuisine, beside the waffles.
It's food.
Well, yeah, but like their dish du jour, right? Like the thing that they're known for.
Food that's good to them.
Yeah. God damn it, Justin. That's been Belgian Facts. Belgium Facts.
The State Select is made possible through the support and funding of viewers like you. Here are our wonderful patrons.
Before we move on, we should probably thank some patrons.
Oh, yeah. All right. We can do that. That sounds good.
It is a new month. It is our second month in operation as far as like since the show is officially launched, which means it is time to thank all of our lovely patrons over on patreon.com, where you can go and support the Stage Select. We're actually putting up a little behind the scenes video thing that we just recorded before this episode. New episodes come, new bonus stuff is available. Going to be working on that Game Fellas retrospective podcast series with friend of the show, John Gholson, pretty soon. Good reasons to go check out the Patreon. But for this month at the executive producer tier, we have Bookie.
We have Casey Curran.
We have David Portnov.
We have Exrian.
We have Matt, insert clever name here, Jorgensen.
We have Philip Becker.
We have Steven, I found Mike's phone in space, Lobo. Which I like that a lot. That's good. That is a good callback.
That's fun.
Yes.
And we also have Xavier Krager.
Yes. And also for the month, at the beginning of the month, we like to thank our associate producer tier. We have Andrew Wilson.
We have Joel Thoman.
And we have John Gholson. Once again, thank you very much to our lovely patrons. And if you like what we do, consider checking out the Patreon. It makes us happy.
Yes.
Also, just listening
Absolutely.
to the show makes us happy. So keep doing
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Okay. Do we want to do that, or do we want to talk about a different thing before we do that?
Yeah, let's talk about a different thing before we do that. The
let's
thing that I
talk
didn't
about-
say what we're going to do.
All right, good. Let's talk about a different thing that we didn't talk about. Okay, I did play one other thing.
Okay. Oh, right. This was something that you told me beforehand that you could not tell me.
Uh-huh. Yeah. No, I couldn't do it. All right, Julian. Oh, as we both know, I have a problem. Sometimes I see a thing on Steam and I'm like, I'm gonna play that, and it's gonna be real fucking dumb. And so when I went to buy Dragon's Dogma this morning, I was looking on the front page of Steam, and I saw a video game. We'll call it a video game.
Oh, here we go.
I saw a video game called, and I'm going to give the punctuation and spelling of some things. It is a game called Knowledge, or No, KNOW Girl. Now, Julian, I would like you to look that up on Steam, if you can.
I will try.
You'll find it. You'll find it. I'm confident you'll find it.
I mean, I do play a lot of the same types of games that you do, so it'll probably...
No, it's not one of those. It's not one of those.
Okay.
When you see it, you're gonna go, "Oh my god, it's this thing." While Julian's looking this up, I will say, I guess I'll go ahead and spoil it just in case he takes forever.
Okay. Yeah. So this is another one of these weird. Is this okay? So this is a Chinese made like FMV game. Like you played
Dating
one of these
sim,
last
yes.
year.
Yes, dating sim. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I played one last year.
They're going really hard into the first person perspective on this one.
Oh yeah, no, the other one did too. The other one was all that as well. What was the other one called? Now I have to look it up. It was something about love, some love game. Oh boy, now I'm never gonna find it. I have too many games on Steam. Where was that thing? That doesn't matter. Knowledge or No Lady is a game where you play as a Chinese boy. I forgot his name. I think it's like Lin something. And he goes to an all-girls school. I don't know why. He just does.
But you played the game. You should know.
No, they never really explain it, Julie.
Oh, okay.
He just does. I mean, well, okay. They kind of do. He goes to an all-girls. He got into college, and somehow he does. Honestly, they really don't. Now I'm sitting here going through, I'm like, do they explain that? No, they don't. They never do. They really never explain how he got in there. He's like, I don't know, I just got into it. So he's in an all-girls school.
Please, I don't want to skip too far ahead, but I really hope that you as a player of this game struck out with all the girls at this all-girls school, even though you're the only
you not really. You don't really strike out with them. You do
I
pretty
figured
well,
that's the game.
actually. Yeah, I mean, it's a dating sim.
Yeah.
They're all pretty into you. I like the other one I played better, which I wish I could remember the name of. This one's okay. It's funny. Let's see. Let me go through the girls one by one while I'm looking at them. This one has an interesting thing where one of the girls is Russian.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Immediately I was like, they're from a different
One of these
place.
is not like the others.
One of these is not like the others, and that's weird for this genre and this thing, right?
Yes.
Like, it immediately catches your eye, like, wait a second, what's going on here? But they go to the school, and then the other one is just like, I don't know, they're just there, they're just like the cute one. I don't really know how else to explain
They're
them.
all the cute one, Justin.
No, Julian. I'm trying to explain them by personality, not what they look like, Julian. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Then there's the one with the purple hair. That one. This one, I do remember her name. Her name is. Hold on, I already forgot it. No, it's really good.
She's got purple hair, so she's going to be the Justin Ham character of the game.
She was. I'm trying to. I did end up with her in the end.
Yeah. I know what's going on.
Yeah. No. Well, okay. There was one other option that I was pretty torn on, and if you can figure out which one that is, I'll let you figure it out.
Someone needs to do a podcast host version of the dating game where it's about or like the Newlyweds game where it's podcast hosts and you figure out like how well you know your host, because I think we do really well on that show. Right.
Yeah, that's true. Oh man. Oh, okay. All right. I'm trying to find her name. That's all I need.
Was it Serena? I saw a Serena in there.
No, Serena is the other love option. She's okay. This has the exact same structure as the other one, right? So like they give you two like solid options right up front. They're like, these are the main ones. And then at some point, like 2 chapters in, they just disappear. And it's like, okay, now all these other ones show up and things start moving along really fast. And you're like, okay, oh, well, this one gives you 2 up front and then the third one, which is the Russian girl. And then they bring in the other 2 and they're like, but what about these ones? They're pretty all right, aren't they? And then one of them is pretty cool. And I was like, okay, well, they've made, and then all of a sudden, then everybody meets. And now all of a sudden everything's a problem because now you have too many love interests.
Right.
It's too much stuff going on, Julian. Okay. Her name was Lynn. No, it was Lynn. Yeah, but that's not the name she goes by.
You got too into the weeds on knowledge.
No.
Lady.
I'll remember it. Because, oh my God, Julian? I hate to ask this. Who sung Skater Boy?
Avril Lavigne.
Avril Lavigne. Her name was.
I did see one that was like Avril Lynn or something like
yes,
that.
Yes, Avril Lynn. I was like,
yes.
Come on, really? Come on, really? I know what you did there, you motherfuckers. I thought this was made by the same developers as the other one. It is not. I had looked it up, but I still think it is. I still have a theory that it is. I refuse to believe that it's not the same developer. Like, you can click on it and it'll be like, this is their only game that they've ever made. I'm like, that's a lie. Because
it looks identical to the game that you played last year.
It looks identical. It has like the same fucking format, the same structure. It's like they kind of rewrote the entire thing again.
I'm worried that this is a scam, Justin, and I feel that you should probably do some sort of like...
I'm going to continue to buy them because they're hilarious. They're fucking funny.
I'm just saying you might want to like scan your computer for...
Oh, that's fine. I don't care about that. They can get whatever they want. I don't give a shit. Oh man, the translations are all hilarious. Like, it's really funny. Like the purple haired girl, she is in a girl band, right? But you can't tell anybody and nobody knows, right? So it's a secret. But her way of hiding that from you is sometimes when she's in the girl band, her hair is braided, so you'll never know. I'm like,
right.
You look identical. You have the same fucking color. How is this? This isn't hiding. This is not doing anything. Everybody knows it's you. Anybody with half a brain, but nobody figured it out. No one. None of them know. the one girl is a fighter. That's right. Her name is Nikita. She'll fight people. You have to fight her. This one I will give it credit. It has like little quick time events that you got to do with the mouse.
Okay.
Like you gotta click on stuff at the right, like when the circle gets in the little thing, and you gotta swipe in the right direction with the mouse. I was like, okay, stuff going on.
Yeah.
Stuff going on. And does that more than once. So I will give it that. It's a little saucier than the other game was, and like
It looked like it from the trailer.
yes, a lot more. Like there's like a lot more scenes where it's like, now you're gonna have this like weird dream about this girl, and it's like, oh, okay, all right, well, that was weird. I guess we'll do that. Man, what a fucking weirdo game. I'm gonna continue to buy these every time I see them, and someday maybe make a list of how I'd rank this. I need to know the name of the other one, and I refuse to leave this conversation until I fucking... Love is All Around, that's it. It was right underneath.
That's right, yeah.
Yep, Love is All Around was the other one I played. God, who made this one? Who was making these games?
The Steam page, like all of the vital information was in Chinese, including the title.
Yes, but this one isn't. This one is made by... this is Love is All Around Steam page. It's made by somebody called Intiny. All one word. The other one's all in Chinese. Maybe that's why they just haven't gotten around to translating it yet, so it doesn't come up. Yeah. Maybe that's why.
Yeah.
But there is like they're not English voiced, but they're English subtitled. Sometimes they go like really fast, and sometimes like they don't match up quite right. Sometimes like it's trying to catch up. The subtitles are trying to catch up to what's being said.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, what the fuck's going on here? I can't really keep up.
Translated, not necessarily localized, is what I'm getting.
No, very much. It's very directly translated. I'm fascinated by the Chinese language. Sometimes where we're like, I wonder, and I cannot stress this enough. I am extremely I have no idea about anything Chinese language related. I'm wondering if they have like gendered proverbs or whatever.
Pronouns,
because like. Pronouns, that's what I mean. Yeah, thank you. I don't know English apparently.
No,
I barely know English.
Hold on. Can we start referring to our pronouns as our proverbs? Can we do that? Like,
yeah, let's do it. Do it. That's good. Our proverbs. I like it. That's good. But
our proverbs
I
are
don't
Psalm
know.
15:19.
Something like that. Yes. Yeah, that's where that came from. I knew it was a pro something. I couldn't remember what.
Yeah. I think I fucked that up anyway, but it's okay. I am so far from reading the Bible, it's not even funny. It feels good.
That's good. But anyway, I wondered if they have those, because like every conversation, like it doesn't matter who, if there's like a pronoun related thing, it's always he. Like they don't have like she thing. It's weird. It's really weird. At least on the phone. And the phone conversations feel like they're really directly translated. And there's a lot of stuff in this game, especially with this game. Love is All Around was a little less bad, where like usually I knew how something was going to go down, except the times when you don't. This one, it's kind of like they'll present you with options, and sometimes you're like, I don't have any idea what any of these do. Right. Because they're like really weirdly translated. And that's kind of what makes it fun to me, is I'm like, I don't know what any of this shit does. So let's pick one and see what happens. The good thing is like, if you go, oh, that isn't what I wanted to do, you can just back out real quick and go to the start of the chapter, then fast forward it right to the choice and just act like it never happened, which is pretty fun.
Yeah.
So that's pretty neat. You don't have to live with any of your bad choices.
I mean, I play a lot of Renpai games, and I just quick save right before the decision.
That's how that goes. It's kind of the same deal. Or
depending on how they coded it, you can just roll your mouse wheel back and like before you said the thing.
Yeah, that is pretty fun. Yeah, actually,
it's like, that did not go the way I thought I wanted it to. Okay, back it up. Back it up.
To their credit, if like a decision you're going to pick like is going to make one of the girls more interested in you, they will put like the decision by them, right? So like then there's like items that you have to find, and I must have missed a ton of items because I kept like coming across stuff, and I was like, I don't know where the hell I was supposed to find that at. But
it's like a thing where you can like click on the environment to pick shit up?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and it'll play a little scene of your character going and picking it up and doing
neat.
and saying a little thing about it. Like they're for an FMV thing. Like if it was like not
Surprising
what
amount
it
of
is,
polish.
surprising amount of polish. Like well shot. Like it's kind of crazy how it, like for it being in first person, it's not like super off putting the entire time. Like I could see that being an absolute disaster to shoot a thing like that, but like it works. Like they do a good job with these. I don't know. Again, I don't know who the fuck's making them, but I'm gonna keep buying them because they're really funny. So like you said, I got with old Avril Lynn, the girl with the purple hair. She was all right. She at the end when it came out that she was gonna be in a girl group or whatever, she won some contest or something. Now she had to go to Korea, and they were gonna train her to be a real girl. I don't know how this works. And I was like, but it came down to like, I don't want to go. I want to not do that. And I was like, okay, well I guess you can be this guy's girlfriend. And so I ruined a girl's life at the end of the game, and now she was my girlfriend. So that's how that went down.
Yeah.
By
that'll happen.
By telling her not to go and do something that would actually benefit her and change her life for the better, probably. I don't know. Or make it worse. I don't know anything about really K-pop other than Blackpink. That's all I know about K-pop.
Right.
And they're good. Blackpink fucking bumps, man. I don't know what to tell you. But that's knowledge or no girl.
Yep. Only like $6.99 on Steam, so if that sounds interesting.
That was the other thing. If it would have been like more than that, I'd have been like, I don't know about that. But like, I was like, $6 and I'll have that's like 3 or 4 hours of entertainment. I haven't even played the whole thing yet. When I made that decision, like it was either you pick this and end the game right here, and I was like, that's what I'm gonna do, because I was like, I want to boot Dragon's Dogma up before the end of the fucking day. but like. There was also the option of like you like let her go live her life and you stay behind and you go and there's a final chapter, and I was like, so I still have to play that, and I might go back and play it because it's really the game's stupid. I just want to see the dumb things.
Right.
These games make me smile because they're bad, but they're not. I don't know. It's so hard to explain.
Honestly, this one sounds like if you could get like an honest to goodness like professional localization done. Mm-hmm. You might actually have like something that has like a wider appeal.
Again, Love Is All Around was the same way. That was not a bad game. It really wasn't. Yeah,
but I just mean like as far as like, you know, reaching a larger than niche audience.
You're always going to kind of have a niche audience because it's a dating sim thing too.
Right.
Like it's just going to.
But even among dating sims, this seems like kind of off. In a corner.
Yeah, it's certainly different. There's something about it that's just they're very interesting.
And hey, look, like if you've never played a dating sim, you should check out a dating sim sometime, just for a change of place or change of pace. Like,
are you fucking kidding me? Love Is All Around has a DLC. Oh shit, son! Oh shit!
Oh, I see
man.
Justin clicking on the buy it button right now.
Yeah, hold on, but it's all in Chinese, and I can't figure out which one I need to buy. There's like a $14 one. Oh shit, man. Okay, I'm just gonna minimize this. I'll come back to this later.
Okay.
Oh man,
fair enough.
Fuck, that's crazy. I can't believe I seen it. I just was looking on the page. It was like, oh, there's a new DLC that came out. Would you be interested in this? I'm like, yeah, I would. I would be interested in that.
Oh, Justin, never change.
It's too late now. I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Right. Well, that's actually about it for what we've got. But I did have, well, pretty much. I mean, yeah.
Okay,
like as far as like, you know,
hold on,
stuff we played.
Hold on, Julian. Hold on.
Okay. All right. I'm holding.
All right. Hold on.
Holding right here.
Listen, Julian, we got, we got a lot of, there's a big world out there. Okay. It's a big world. And you, Julian, Titus, you may have a lot of questions that you would like to ask the world. And there's only one person, and there's only one person or place that can answer those questions for you. And I would like you, Julian Titus, to have the opportunity to
ask Sherwin Williams.
right now. So, Julian, what would you like to ask Sherwin-Williams today?
No, actually, I've got one. Sherwin-Williams.
Okay, yeah.
What's up with your logo? To me, it just looks like you've covered the earth in blood. I know it's supposed to be paint,
Well,
but that's not how it reads to me, and it has always creeped me out. What's up with that, Sherwin-Williams?
well, Julian, it's just paint. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, but why did it have to be specifically red?
Well, when one talks about painting the town red, you talk about Sherwin-Williams. We were the first ones to paint the town red, and we did it with our paint. So we covered the earth, as you can see. We're painting the earth red. We're gonna make it red, in a good way, not like in blood.
Right.
Yeah.
Or like communist Russia.
Yeah, no, not like that. Not like that. Unless they are going to give us lots of money, then we're fine with it.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know, that was actually a pretty satisfying answer. I wasn't expecting that from you, Sherwin-Williams.
Well, anytime, Julian. We will have more opportunities to do this again. And so that'll conclude this portion of the program where Julian asked Sherwin-Williams, and we'll do it again some other time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ask Sherwin-Williams.
Yeah.
What is this podcast? Listeners need to know that, like, Justin and I do not discuss this shit beforehand. Like, part of the fun of the stage select is just coming up with shit to try to derail the other person as best we can.
Yep. I've been thinking about that's been in the works for before we ever started this. I was like, man, I would love to just randomly bust out the fucking Ask Sherwin-Williams sound bit to somebody and just make them do it because they won't know what to do. It's a stupid thing.
Yes.
Oh, I love it.
I do too.
Well, it'll be back. Sherwin-Williams
I'm sure it will
return.
Yes. Will it have the listener appeal of going to space? Time will tell. We'll see.
Time will tell. Who knows?
Yes.
Maybe listeners can send in their questions and they can
Ask Sherwin-Williams.
That's true.
Yeah. See?
Yeah.
Do it.
thestageselectpod@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Yep.
You got it.
Yeah, so before we get out of here, this is actually going to be a slightly shorter episode than usual, which will be nice for
that's
Julian
fine.
on editing.
Yeah.
So, like I said earlier, first quarter of the year, killer. To the point that, like, I have only completed one video game so far, and that was Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. Because they are all super long and super fantastic, and I want to finish them all.
Skull and Bones came out and lit the world on fire.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Oh, man. Dude.
That's crazy. Who would have thunk it?
But I thought we would take this opportunity to kind of look at the next quarter, like the next 3 months or so, because I have a feeling that things are going to kind of slow down, at least as far as you and I are concerned.
It's possible.
And maybe give us a chance to like catch up on some stuff. But
yeah.
So looking at April, and so Justin and I both have the same list up. Yeah. We're not going to go down with like everything that's listed. I'm just going to say that for me, the only thing that I'm seeing is Ayuden Chronicle 100 Heroes, which I actually kickstarted that. So I've already got that coming. Like that'll I'm getting a physical copy of that headed my way in April, and I'm very excited for that. But of course, probably another sub 100 RPG that I need to play. But I'm very much looking forward to it because like. I kickstarted that for a reason, right? It's the people who made Suikoden 1 and 2, or the Suikoden series, right? The creator of Suikoden sadly passed away in the last couple months, like right before they shipped the game, which is very sad to hear. But
that is really sad, yeah.
I've been following the production because of the Kickstarter updates and stuff like that. There's some very fun characters that they've come up with. The game looks gorgeous. Battle system looks cool.
The Suikoden series is one of my favorites of all time. So,
yes.
Yeah, I love it. I can't wait. I'm very excited for that one.
Yeah.
The only other one I see in April is that I even recognize that it's a thing that existed is Stellar Blade.
Yes.
Which I don't even think looks that great if I remember right, because I'm looking at it and I'm like, it might be good. Yeah, it might be fine, but I don't think it's going to be that good. We'll see.
So the demo came out today, and I did download it.
Oh, did it? Okay.
But Unicorn Overlord exists.
I've been there.
Yeah.
I know that feeling all too well.
I am going to make a concerted effort to play a couple things different between now and next episode, because otherwise I will have nothing left to talk about, because I'll still just be playing Unicorn Overlord. That is one thing I wanted to say real quick, Justin, is that I'm kind of starting to turn into a weekend warrior type of gamer, and I don't like that feeling.
It happens.
Lately, by the time that I turn on my console, it's like 9:30. And and I might get a couple hours in before I go to bed, and that's, I'm not making any progress that way on most games.
Yeah, you'll have that. You'll have that every now and then.
Yeah.
I get you. All right, that's all I see for April, personally.
Me too. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there will be like other little weird things that aren't listed here that come out that will spark interest, but it continues to be a good time for like indie games to come out of nowhere, or like, so I didn't play it, but like I was watching like Pat, Paige, Wooly, and Reggie play Helldivers. Or Helldivers 2, rather. That game looks fucking fun, dude, and that's not even my type of game. It seems very popular.
It's very
really popular. Yeah.
In a way that no one was expecting.
I did not expect that at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's awesome. I think that's really cool.
Yes.
Whoa. Okay. May has some weird shit. Here's a game series I've never played before, but I'm always fascinated by, the Neptunia series. If I remember right, what's that?
What is that? What is it?
It's if I remember right, it's like some sort of like weird like RPG type thing, but like you're oh man, I've always been fascinated by it, but I don't know what the fuck it is. It's always like girls. It's almost like Sailor Moon type shit, but like they're always in like some kind of technology of some sort.
Okay, is this that RPG series where like sometimes they're like representing video game consoles?
I think so. I think that might be Neptunia. Yes, I think that's the one. I could be wrong, but I think that's the one. That's why I've always been like, I'm never gonna get one of those games probably, but like it's fascinating.
Real quick, but before we move on, because I clicked on this because the name kind of rung a bell from April, and I'm glad that I clicked on it. Harold Halibut, which is this like stop motion style video game that I remembered seeing a trailer for at E3 like 3 or 4 years ago, and I was like, that looks really cool, and I proceeded to forget about it, and it's actually coming out in April. That might be one of the games that I like go out of my way to check out, because I've been waiting for that.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Over here in May, V Rising was in early access for a while. People
it's like a Diablo game combined with like a survival and building type
kind of
thing.
Like, it reminds me of like Legacy of Kain, kind of, but like survival. Because it's a vampire game.
But you're also like building and crafting and stuff like that.
Yes, you're building and crafting, and you're a vampire. Yeah. That's basically it. That's
coming to console later in the year, so I might check it out.
I believe it. Yeah, it seemed neat. Read Only Memories Neurodiver is I know that I played the first Read Only Memories for like a little bit, but I never played it enough to get super into it. The only reason I know that series exists is because they did a crossover with the Valhalla Cyberpunk bartender game.
Makes sense. Looking at it, it's got a similar vibe.
Yeah, they very much did, but they had like a crossover thing. Like you could serve drinks to characters in the original Reader Only Memories or whatever.
Yeah.
Like from that game, they would show up. You had to do certain specific things to get them to show up. And I remember, I think I did it, and then I was like, I don't know who this is. It's like I don't get the reference here at all. But and then I learned later, is Hellblade 2 coming out in May?
Yeah, look, apparently May 21st. Senua Saga Hellblade 2, which obviously I'm super excited. That is the game of May for me.
There you go. Yeah.
I loved Hellblade 1, but here's my issue. The whole point of Hellblade, the way it was developed, was Ninja Theory took a small team and they scoped it very small, but they made it look extremely good for the scope of the game it was. Yeah. And also to tell like a story that was very like personal as far as not to them as a studio, but just to tell the story of like, you know, problems with mental health and stuff like that. Very cool, intimate little game. Hellblade 2 looks like the exact opposite of that. Yeah. Where, you know, because they also made Hellblade 1 in like, I think like 18 months or something like that. Right. Hellblade 2 was revealed when the Xbox Series was revealed in 2019.
Very true. It's that one's going to be interesting.
It is.
Sure.
I'm definitely going to be playing it. I mean, it's Game Pass, so of course, you know. It's
I mean,
be
how will you find time? Multiverses is coming out, so.
Oh, I was going to say Multiverses, a game that definitely has never come out before.
No, like, never came out.
This is the official release date of Multiverses.
Yeah.
Never a product that people were able to put money into.
No.
Yeah, it is launching in on May 28th.
That's really cool. I'm glad to see it finally coming out after all this time.
I know, right?
I heard a lot about it, you know.
Yeah.
So. See how it goes.
What is going on at like Warner Brothers, dude? Like just as a corporation.
I don't know. There's something. I'm getting to the point where it's coming around the other end, and I just think it's great now. I'm just like, no, they just keep doing dumb shit.
Right.
It's bad. In June, I know obviously Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree is coming out, but my big one for me that I want to play is Life by You. That is a Sims-like game that has been in development for a long time.
Yeah.
Yes. It's coming out in early access. I've been following it for a while. I thought it was coming out in March, but I think they might have pushed it back at some point, and now it's coming out in June. And it's more like I forget who made it. Let's see if it has the info here. Of course it doesn't. Oh, Paradox. When did they make? They're the guys that make all the fucking City Skyline. They publish it and all that shit.
Okay.
Yeah, Crusader Kings, all that bullshit. They're making their own fucking Sims-like game, which actually makes sense when you consider some of the strategy games that they put out.
Yes.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. It's because it's more like it doesn't have like the Sims art style stuff. It's more like, no, we know people just want like real looking shit because that's all the modding scene is. So let's go after that.
Right.
And
Someone should
like into that. Yeah, somebody should go that route.
I personally like the look of The Sims, but I can see like why people would want like a more realistic simulation of the world.
It's a cool, interesting. Like, why not? You know, why not try that idea? It seems like. It might be terrible, but I really want to know. I really do want to play that one.
Yes.
So.
I should point out, it's not listed on here, but also, no, because it's actually a week later. Or wait, is it? So it's not listed here. So Elden Ring: Shadow of the Erdtree comes out June 21st. At PAX over the weekend. Was it PAX? No, I think it was GDC.
Oh,
no, it was
Fantasy.
PAX. It was
Final
PAX.
Fantasy push back its thing by a week or whatever, so that people could play Elden Ring.
Well, so Yoshi P got on stage and they were talking about Dawn Trail, the next expansion, and he said, "Well, I figured most of you guys were going to want to play the Elden Ring DLC. You have 1 week." And then Dawn Trail comes out, but I'm nowhere close to being caught up. Like I'm still finishing up Endwalker, so that's not an issue for me. I mean, I'm gonna pre-order it and have it ready to go, but like I won't be getting to Dawn Trail for a while.
Yeah,
but obviously for me, June is Elden Ring. I plan on, like I said, I'm gonna try probably in May to start up a new game and just get a new character up and ready for the DLC, because I want to go for a different thing. I'm kind of going for I want to make like a Dragoon build, which is going to be like lances for the weapon, but then dragon incantations for magic. So I think that'll be kind of neat.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a feeling I will end up watching someone play that DLC and be like, yeah, done? That's good. I don't know if I'm going to go back to it.
Interesting.
Only because I would have to go back into my old game and like
relearn everything.
And relearn everything.
That's why I'm starting a new character to get those Elden Ring legs back.
It's been so long that I don't remember where all this. It'd be a lot, and I'm bad at it. I'm like, I don't know.
Right.
I'll probably end up watching somebody play it and be fine with that. I just want to see the stuff, and that's all I really need.
Right.
Or if it's anything like Elden Ring, the original was, I started out by watching people play it and being like, all right, I'm going to try it myself. And so that could be too. Yeah.
Yeah. I have a feeling there's going to be so much like people just like talking about it and having like fun stories about it and shit like that. That I have a feeling that you're not going to be able to resist.
Absolutely could happen again.
Yeah.
It's happened before. It could happen again. So we'll see.
I think for me, and I think it sounds like for you also, it sounds like we've got about like one game each month for the next 3 months for the most part. And that sounds good.
Yeah, that's fine. I still have Final Fantasy to finish. I haven't even started Yakuza or Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth yet. Which is part of the reason why I saved it, because I was like, at some point during this year, everything's going to drop off and I'm not going to have anything to play, because it happens every year. And I go, oh God, what am I going to do?
Right.
And I'm like, oh, I haven't even started that yet. That's going to be all right.
Yeah.
I'm happy I left that there.
And like I said, in April, like I'm going to start playing Persona 3 Reload, but doing it monthly, right? Like I will do all of what happens in the game in April, and then put it to the side and then come back to it in May, and so on and so forth. I had a fun time playing Persona 5 Royal that way. And it also, it breaks it up in a nice way where you don't start to burn out on it or anything like that.
Right.
And then of course, finishing up on Rebirth, I'm going to want to play Dragon's Dogma 2. And I feel like I'm missing one other big one. I know, I guess technically it is Persona 3 Reload, but yeah. So that's nice to see.
Yeah. It hasn't been big game announce time yet, so you never know what'll happen.
We still don't really know a lot of what's coming in the back half of the year. Once we get into June, we should have a better idea of stuff.
That's why a lot like that list seems to kind of like almost like die right after June, because it's just like maybe it'll probably be people being like, come out in a month or whatever, and we'll all get excited or whatever. I don't know what their plans are. We'll just see. It'll be fine. For worst case scenario, I just play more Skyrim or something. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, before we get out of here, Justin.
All right.
It's time for the last Belgium fact of the episode. Belgium facts.
I was worried I was going to get quizzed again.
No. That's okay. Later on, you will get quizzed in another episode.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine.
Did you know, Justin, that Belgian men are the second tallest in the world? With a height of 181.7 centimeters, only Dutchmen are taller at 182.5 centimeters. The same can't be said for Belgian women, however, who rank 21st at 167.5 centimeters tall.
Oh. So. Yeah, I knew that.
Okay.
I knew that.
Yeah, I mean, kind of everybody knows that.
Yeah.
But, I wanted to have it recorded for posterity.
Yeah, no. That makes sense. Let everybody else know.
So our Belgian listeners are not only very cool, awesome people with great taste, but very tall.
Yeah.
Very tall.
They're good at it too.
They are good at it.
Yeah, they're very good at it. Yeah, good at it. I don't know how you be good at that, but they're good at it. So don't question it. Yeah.
Belgium facts. That's a show, folks.
That's a show. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
That's all you need.
It's good enough.
Yeah. We can't have you just expecting 3-hour episodes every week.
If you want a 3-hour episode, you need to call in and
Ask Sherwin-Williams.
Well,
I just want to
write
hit that
in,
button
don't
one
call
more
in.
time.
There's nowhere to call in.
No, call in. It'll be fine. Just
okay,
call.
yeah. Just call in. Look for the stage select. Call in.
Yeah, just call. Just call. You know the number. Shut up. You know it.
Everybody knows the number.
Everybody knows it.
Yeah.
Stop acting like you don't.
All right, we're going to go ahead and start heading out of here. Justin, where can they find you, sir?
You can find me at Tyrone_Swift. I'm not on there all the time. That's on Twitter. And you can listen to This Is Video Games. It's still there. You can listen to Clickbait Update. It's still there somehow. Sometimes I'm amazed that it's still there. Yeah, that's it.
Yes. You can find me on Twitter at Julian_Titus. You can find the podcast on Twitter at State Select Pod. You can also find me on Blue Sky. Just look for Julian Titus and you'll find me there. Thanks as always to Megan McDuffie for our incredible theme song and interstitial tracks. Thank you to friend of the show, John Gholson, for our awesome logo work and being our announcer. But that is going to do it for this edition of the Stage Select. I've been Julian Titus. He's been Justin Ham. We've been the Stage Select. Signing off.
Uh-huh.
The Stage Select is copyrighted and owned by Space Monkey Mafia Productions, specializing in independent podcasting. Please consider sharing the show with your friends and support us by joining our Patreon or donating to our coffee. Thank you, and good night.